Welcome to the Money Market Show. I'm your host, Paula Joy. Every week, we bring you some great people, not only account executives, but also real estate agents who are making it in this market. So if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, guess what? You should share this channel with other realtors because we're on a crusade to change your life. But you have to subscribe to the channel because you want to know whenever we interview somebody who's doing some great things, you want to get an alert. Also comment. Today on the show with me is Teresa Keng. You probably have seen her billboards. You've seen her on the billboards and seen her yard signs and stuff like that. Everywhere you go, it's Teresa Keng. She's running for the state assembly, and you got to support her. Whether or not you agree with her politics, I don't know. But we got to talk to her today, and stay tuned. Don't go away. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You're looking really dapper.
Oh, you too. You as well.
Oh my goodness! I discovered something today about you.
Yes.
I've been seeing you all over the place. So I think one of the beautiful things about this of me doing interviews, I get to meet exciting people. So you're gonna be an assembly woman very soon.
I hope, yeah.
And you will make you an assembly woman.
Right.
I don't see why anybody should not elect you.
Thank you, thank you.
Right? And so I'm sitting here with an assembly woman. Wow.
Ooh,
Somebody's going to be making statewide laws.
Yeah, I mean, our community needs help, coming out from the pandemic, rebounding from the pandemic. Our families, our students, our small businesses all need support during this critical time.
Great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you. I mean, you were born in Taiwan or born in America?
I was actually born neither. I was born in Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
My dad was from Hong Kong. He went to college in Taiwan and met my mom there.
Right.
But I grew up in Taiwan until I was 15 years old and, came over to the state. I graduated from Newark Memorial right here.
Wow.
Newark,
so Taipei, yes?
Yes.
I love Taipei.
Yeah, I know. I just found out you can speak a little bit Chinese. And
no, a little bit.
Quite a bit. Wow, 很厉害. Yeah, very impressive. My gosh, do you speak Taiwanese too?
No, not Taiwanese. I was like, only Jabar, something like that. Okay,
great.
That's good. So you came here, you went to Newark Memorial High, and so you've been here ever since. You went to UCLA, and so Fremont is your hometown?
My second home now, yeah.
What's your first home?
Well, Taiwan, right? So
oh, really? Still? After 30 years?
Well, I've lived in a few places since I, got to the States. So, I came in first to San Francisco, and then we went to LA for a year, and, we landed in Newark, went to high school here, my last 2 years of high school, and then, went back to LA for college. I went to UCLA, and then came back to San Francisco for grad school. So, I've been moving around, but I came back to Fremont, after grad school to settle down.
So do you live in Fremont, Newark?
Fremont now.
Okay, yes. Cool. Why Fremont, not Newark?
Well, because when I went to Newark, I was going to church in Fremont. So I always feel like Fremont is kind of my community, right? Because I have a lot of support from the community growing up because my family was not here, right?
Right.
So even when I went to college, I would come back during school breaks, and I would be staying at church people's homes, crashing their couch and stuff, and they just fed me and provide me.
So you have a strong community. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They even have small Taipei in Fremont.
That's right.
Taipei. Yes.
Taipei, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So you went to school and studied. What did you study?
So at UCLA, I studied business economics.
Okay, yes. Business economics, and you're telling me you own a restaurant.
That's right. I have a Taiwanese restaurant, which you love.
Right. So you said when you opened it, there are long lines.
Oh yeah, it was funny. So we opened just about 6 years ago.
Yes.
And we at first wanted the staff and all the kitchen staff to kind of like ease into it, right? So we didn't really advertise.
Yes.
But somehow the words got out, and it was like a Friday. It wasn't even Saturday. Friday at lunchtime was like a line out the door. Yeah, so we were pretty busy since then.
So it's like that 365. They have a 365 Taiwanese.
Oh, that one.
One here. There's a cake.
Right.
Yes, something here.
Yeah.
And then just across the street is the Tasty Pot.
Tasty Pot.
So
Yeah.
it looks like what's something special about Taiwanese food or something.
Yeah, something, right? So we're kind of like, we're more of a family restaurant. So, like Tasty Pot, they only have hot pot. But we have hot pot, we have boba, we have like rice place noodle soup, beef noodle soup.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So pork chop fried rice and a lot of like the street eats from Taiwan.
Right.
So, because when we used to take our kids when they were little to like hot pot places, there's nothing they could eat there at the hot pot, right?
Yes.
So, the kids like the, popcorn chicken, fried rice, stuff like that. So,
Right.
we're kind of like the local favorite of
Yes.
a Taiwanese food family restaurant.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but you also were a realtor.
Yeah, so, before I opened the restaurant, I was a realtor for 10 years. Yeah.
Wow, 10 years. And you also did loans.
I did loans as well,
You've done
so kind of like you.
Yeah, exactly. You've done quite a few things.
Yeah.
And now, okay, you went and had a master's degree in what? Acupuncture?
Acupuncture, yeah, traditional
That's
Chinese
interesting.
medicine. So I was licensed back in 2000,
Right.
but I didn't practice. My sister actually has her practice in San Mateo, but
Yes.
I went on to work as a sales manager, and then before I met my husband, and here I am, where
And you did
20 years
insurance as
later.
well. You did insurance.
Yeah, so that's how I met my husband.
Wow.
His team was recruiting, and then I knew his parents from church, and then they're like, "Oh, my son's team is hiring. You should come, give it a try." So kind of like an additional income. A lot of people start out
Yes.
being an insurance agent or a realtor.
Now
like
you're
that.
doing a PhD in education.
In education, yeah, because so the last couple of years of pandemic, both my kids are on the autism spectrum, so they're 13 and 11 now, but they really had a pretty tough time with distance learning. Like on the screen, not much social interaction and not getting the help that they need, in the classroom. So I realized how inadequate our schools are,
Yes.
getting all the resources that we need for our students. So I'm in a doctoral program for education leadership at San Jose State. Right?
So you're a student.
I am a student, yes.
And then you're running for the state assembly?
That's right, yeah. Because I don't want to.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to be just like a slogan. Oh, I want to advocate for schools, but I want to really know how we can best meet the needs of our schools, of our
Yes.
students, especially now. Like getting back into the classroom. We need to help them catch up, and especially for our young people, we were just talking about how the future is actually pretty bleak for them. How they are able to afford a $1.5 million home, right, when they graduate. Yeah, I don't know how my kids can do that without our help, right? So we gotta make sure that they have, everything that they need to realize their American dream.
Business economics, acupuncture, and now education.
Yeah.
And now the state assembly. What's your platform?
Yeah, so well, my family and my business, we survived the pandemic, but a lot of families, a lot of students, families, businesses are still struggling. In fact, we're still not fully back, from the pandemic. I think in the next few months we're gonna see more businesses close their door, right? So we got to make sure that in the next few years is a very critical time for us to continue to support our small businesses, our families, students, make sure that they have all they need to succeed.
Okay, so one of the major issues, one of the major problems that we have in California is housing. You just mentioned that.
Yep.
You have these students who cannot afford to rent.
Yeah.
And then when they graduate, they may not be able to afford to buy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are running for state assembly. I'm interested to know, how do you intend to solve this problem?
Yeah, so we can't build fast enough right now, especially for affordable housing, right, for young families, and we need to there's a lot of people who are like, oh, they're not understanding why we're still building more, but in fact we have in the Bay Area we have a lot of talents, but the basic economics of supply and demand is when there's not enough supply, the prices are gonna go, skyrocket. But we want to make sure that our young people, our first-time buyers, are able to afford that first-time home. So we need to make sure that the realtors, the builders have all the support from the government to make sure that they can continue to build at a steady pace.
So you're pro-development.
I am, yes.
Okay, cool. But there's very little land in the Bay Area. For example, we live here in Newark, and we're interviewing you right now in Newark. There's virtually no land, right? Virtually no land here. So where are they going to build?
Yeah, well, we're going up now, right? So there's more, especially around the transit, around bar, around
Yes.
freeway. We're building more, higher density housing.
Right.
So I think that's very important to make sure that we are building more units, and but I think equally important is to make sure that we have programs for first-time owners, for with better rate, for our teachers, for our all the essential workers, right? Our safety, public safety officers, to make sure that they have those programs that they can secure funding for them to buy.
Well, okay, California is not overpopulated. It's not, right? It's just the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you go to some places like Yolo County or Tulare County and places like that, so my solution, if I was running for the government or whatever, if I had the power, I would advocate building new cities. You understand?
Yeah.
Because in China, for example, and some other parts of the world, they build new cities, brand new cities, right? There's nothing stopping the government, and I've never heard anybody say this,
right.
but there's nothing stopping the government from building brand new cities. You can build a new Silicon Valley somewhere. If people don't want to leave California, because I see this all the time,
right.
and they say, oh, they have allocated these funds, to solve the homeless problem, but you still have the homeless problem in San Jose, in Oakland, in San Francisco, in Sacramento, in Stockton. I still see that.
Yeah.
Even in Newark, I see homeless people here and stuff. I'm kind of asking, what is the government doing? You go to LA, Skid Row, and this is laughable. I really think it's laughable.
Right.
I wish I was talking even to the governor, because, you're here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never spoken to anybody in politics, but
Right.
you can see I'm very passionate about this right now, okay? Because I'm in the trade, but I'm also very well educated, and I'm a communicator, okay? So I think like people are watching this, they should listen, okay? Because I went to Yolo County, okay, and where you have like Angels Camp and all those places.
Yeah.
A whole county is only about, it's not even the size of Newark. The entire county. Okay, the population, okay, granted there's snow over there,
right.
but guess what, who cares? There's snow in Michigan, there's snow everywhere else, right? If people don't want to leave California, okay, wouldn't it be better for example, I know, for example, the state of California allocated $20 billion towards BART, okay, so that they want California to be very competitive. So that's why they located, and that's just people are going up, they're going up, okay, 6 stories. Scott Winner and all those people campaign for that, right? But you're still going to run out. You're still going to run out of that.
Of course.
And not everybody wants in that cocoon space, right?
Yeah.
I would have thought that basically if you take the $20 billion, you can build a brand new city somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And tell all these people, okay, go there. But
when you provide the job opportunity, you got to take some work there too, because people can, they can commute like 3 hours.
Yeah. Folsom. Intel is there.
Yep.
Some people working there.
Yep.
You see, California, if you love the beautiful state of California and you cannot afford here in the Bay Area, I tell you, if they have Amtrak, was it Amtrak?
Yeah.
Amtrak, they have Amtrak, they have Ace train and all kind of stuff from Stockton to, all you got to do basically provide the same amenities.
Yeah, we need, a lot of times we're kind of like, framed in our little box. We need to think outside the box. Like, the idea that you just have, we got to build new cities, right? Yeah. So, I absolutely agree.
Has anybody brought up this thing?
Well, I think there's, for new cities, you need a lot of infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So I think, it might be easier to kind of enhance the current some of the suburban areas like you mentioned, right?
All you got to do, Teresa, is all you have to give incentives to developers.
Of course, yeah.
If you take tax incentives, for example, I know, for example, we want to develop in Fremont. They got the stupid affordable housing law. Okay, you got to pay like $14 per square foot for affordable housing. And all that money goes into the pocket of Fremont. I don't know whether they give that to affordable housing people. So you have homeless people around. Okay, and then there's a tax for schools and stuff like that. That's not very developer friendly. Right. And they have the environmental impact fees and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All you got to do is say, hey, let's build a brand new city somewhere else. Okay, it may be 2 hours from here, but guess what? These companies can go over there, and people are working out of their homes. People are working out of their homes, so all you got to do is basically incentivize people. Say, listen, man, if you go and move over there, we're going to give you an extra, maybe the interest rate is lower. Maybe we're going to give you $50,000 for down payment assistance. Maybe we can give you this. And the companies can hire you, give you the same salary that you're paid here.
Right.
If you love California weather.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like a good example, kind of similar to your idea, is Mountain House, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, you know, I think they built that whole, you know, entire community
Yes.
maybe 10 years ago,
Yes.
and you know, they built like a brand new elementary
Yes,
school
yes.
there. But you know, I don't think they need, you know, they don't need all the infrastructure there,
Yeah.
but you know, it's a new housing.
Okay, go
you know,
figure. Okay,
right,
Mountain House right now.
Yep.
People are offering you $2 million to buy a
Yeah,
house.
yeah, exactly. Well, it's closer than Tracy, I think.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
But before Mountain House, when they started building it, I mean, it was $500,000.
Right.
Right.
I know. I have
That
a
is-
friend that moved there, and then we went to their housewarming, and then like, wow, this is awesome. They got a swimming pool and everything, right? So
That's a classic example
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there are other, okay, again, that's not too far from here.
That's right,
Right?
yeah.
I'm sure there's some other places between Tracy and
that's
Patterson.
right. Yeah. So
Right?
you know,
Empty places and stuff like
yeah,
that people can't. I mean, you don't
absolutely.
need too much
All right,
infrastructure.
we gotta get it working.
Because you have the main roads, you have the main,
Yeah.
you have 580,
exactly.
you got, you know,
Yeah.
and the developers are the ones that are going to do it,
Absolutely,
not
right.
even the government.
Yeah, yeah.
Just give them incentives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, great.
That-
And
that's-
yeah, we gotta listen to our people, and together we'll make a better community for all of us, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are a realtor. Let's talk about some of the things that okay, for have this moratorium. Let's say somebody is a landlord, okay,
Right.
an investor, listening to you, right, or watching the show right now, and they want to know what's your take about. Okay, you are a landlord, and they have these laws against landlords. It looks like everything's against a landlord right now. I mean,
Yeah.
how come that California is doing that?
Right. So, I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, it was a lot of people lost their jobs, especially people working at retails, right? All the malls had closed, all the, a lot of restaurants closed, all the, like the ballparks all closed down. So, we don't want people to be, kicked out by, there's going to be like tens of thousands of people that could be kicked out, right,
Yes.
of their apartment. So, we want, the housing situation to be stable because, when you look at it, the average American only have $400 savings, right? People were lining up at food banks. But, to your point, I think the burden shouldn't fall on the landlords, right? We need to have balanced solutions. You want to give the eviction moratorium. You want to make sure that those relief are going to the landlords, right? Because the landlords got to pay their bills too.
Yeah.
They got to pay the mortgages, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so I have an open door policy. I've been going up to Sacramento to meet with different business groups. So I think a lot of times when it becomes kind of dangerous when policyholders had never been a business owner, had never worked in the private sector.
Right.
They don't understand the cost of doing business, right?
Yes.
Because I'm a small business owner, right?
Right.
So I know that especially the last 2 years, the cost of doing business had gone up tremendously.
Yes.
So, we got to take into consideration of any new bills or regulations that you're introducing and talk to the industry that's going to be impacted by these
Right.
new bills.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you mentioned you're a small business owner yourself. You still are. You still own that restaurant,
Yeah.
right? So what is the state doing? And you're running for the state assembly. What is the state doing to support small businesses?
Yeah,
I know they had lenders free and they get some money to some
Right,
people. Why
yeah.
can't they give some more money right now?
Yeah, honestly, at the beginning of the pandemic, right, there was the PPP money in the first year. But, after that, there's actually not that much, right? So, we know that there's going to be more businesses closing their doors in the next few months because, restaurants are actually one of the hardest hit industry during this pandemic. Probably close to 50% of the restaurants had closed their doors. So, there's when a lot of us had to rely on almost probably half of the business being on Uber Eats, these delivery platforms, and they were charging 30%. Right, to the restaurants, when the average industry net profit was only at 10%, right? So many businesses are still struggling, and we got to make sure that we continue to provide support to them.
That's interesting. Okay, so in terms of we talked about small businesses. How about big business? We see like Tesla is based here in
Yeah,
California,
right,
and now they're
right.
talking about moving to Texas. I know they still have I know they still have this plant here in Fremont.
Right.
And they're building more. I see them building more.
Yeah.
So what kind of support are you guys offering statewide for businesses that I think are moving out of California?
Yeah, so, well, I think Tesla is doing very well. So, they're, because gas prices continue to go up, so, people are buying electric cars now. Their demand is higher than ever. In fact, I was just touring Tesla a couple of weeks ago, seeing their plant continue to expand. But, like you said, we got to support all the industries, that we have in the state of California, including healthcare, including pharmaceutical, like, we all need to rebound from the pandemic, and for different industries, they need different kind of help. And I think we need to continue conversations with them and make sure how we can best support each industry, right? And some actually, a lot of the tech industries actually have done better because we rely on like internet. We rely on we're like working from home, right? So the tech has done really well. So California actually has a historic surplus right now.
Yes.
But we got to make sure that the industries that need support can reach out and have that access to government.
Okay, so I was reading the other day, Fremont, I think the second time running or whatever, is the safest city in America. Is that true?
I think that they named it the happiest city.
Oh, the happiest. Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
Is it happy? I don't know.
I think for the most part, they only, so this list, I think, is only like the bigger cities, right? So, Fremont, we had close to 250,000 people. So I think, for a city this size, we're pretty safe, right? We have pretty low crime rate. But it's across the Bay Area, across California, there's increasing crime, right? Especially hate crime as well, against Asians too.
Yes.
And so we can always improve. Actually, that's one of the top issues right now. Actually, public safety is on people's mind. And my own restaurant was broken into 4 times.
I've been broken into twice.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like everything that's going on with the pandemic. Now you have to pay for repairing the glass for like $1,500, right? So so we gotta make sure that people feel safe, and we have the parks, recreational. We have all the resources that we need. People that needs help can access to the government, and I think that's very critical.
That's good. Okay, so that's one thing I was going to ask you. The last thing I was going to ask you about the crime rate. I see people breaking into cars and stuff like that. If you go to Oakland, San Francisco, I don't know about San Jose, but there's crime in San Jose as well. You see people break into cars, and I'm kind of wondering what the government, and I see this thing, they want to recall the DA in San Francisco
right.
because it's not doing much and stuff like that. I mean, first of all, I want to find out why is this happening? What was the root cause of all these things?
Right. I think, like we were saying earlier, right now, I think there's like multiple factors, of course, right? And then, people were laid off, people lost their job during, if they're working retail, but also working in a minimum wage job cannot put a roof over someone's head anymore, right? So, I think we really need to expand the vocational programs for our young people. And, like in Germany, for example, 50% of their young people of their high school students are in the vocational program, and they're making $30 to $50 an hour, graduating from that program. And we got to make sure that, our young people have that access to high wage jobs, right? And, but we also need to be a little bit tougher on crime too.
I was going to say that. That's what's going to my point. So I think you have what they call the progressives. I don't know. I'm not political. Okay, but basically I see stuff. I think people are too liberal in many ways, right? Too liberal in the sense that, okay, like somebody breaks into a store and you actually see the guard is there and they're doing nothing.
They're not doing anything.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what's this stuff? They encourage us to do it. There's no crime, there's no repercussion or something like that, and this is wrong. Or somebody just wants to be homeless. Okay, this is America, for goodness sakes. There's 2 jobs, right? And I think you make it fashionable that people. To be honest here, I'm pretty blunt, but I think people, some immigrants come here, people work very hard and work extremely hard, and then you have people who are born here. I'm not saying everybody's homeless that's born here, okay, but what I'm saying that America still has opportunities, still the great adventure, the great dream. The American dream is still alive, but I think a lot of people just give up.
Right.
Okay, just even the politicians give up on the crime. I cannot understand. You have the police force, right? You have the police force. What are they doing? you have the courts. What are they doing? You know, we want to know that somebody is doing something to stop this.
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
and the political heads should come up and say and condemn what's happening, right? And not just be complacent about it.
Right. Yeah,
the
absolutely.
governor should come up and say something about this stuff.
Yeah, you know, in Fremont we had fully funded our police, and you know we make sure that our police had all the resources they need. And so I think, you know, that's one of the basic, you know, needs of, you know, the community is public safety, is feeling safe, right? So you know, like you said, I think, people shouldn't be able to like walk off, you know, the store carrying $900 of goods, and because they are not going to be prosecuted, right? And then, you know, the security guards standing there not doing much, and because, you know, the company probably got the direction from their company and saying, okay, you know, don't risk yourself being hurt or whatever liability that's going to be more, right? But, you know, I think we do need, like in Alameda, actually, you know, Alameda County, we don't prosecute any property crimes, right?
Really?
So, so, you know, when you have laws like that kind of allow people to just walk away, right, then it becomes a problem, yes.
But I don't know who actually instituted those kinds of laws. Who did? Are they statewide or they are countywide?
Yeah, so some are statewide, some are countywide.
Who makes the decision for the county? Yeah,
so, you know, the DA, you know, so, you know, at the state, it would be the assembly members and the Senate, right? So, so it's very important.
Yeah, I think we need some hardcore people, right, that basically say, listen, there has to be a balance.
Yeah,
right? And not just have things go laissez-faire, do what the way I want, because it's not going to be safe for anybody.
Yeah, so, you know, I absolutely agree that there needs to be a balance, right? Because people needs our basic needs met, you know, where we have hardworking citizens, you know, working their jobs. That we also have a very high, you know, opiate crisis right now, right? And then we also need to support, have more mental health support for the people that need them. And, you know, in the past few decades, there hasn't been, you know, enough mental health support out there for people, you know, like my husband is a veteran. You know, we know that a big percentage of the homeless population are veterans. And, you know, we got to make sure that people are supported in, you know, different ways so that they can be, they can get housing, they can, you know, get the help that they need.
Well, Teresa, I could talk to you all day long. It seems to have a lot of strong ideas there. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
How do people contact you, and how do they vote for you?
Yeah. So, you know, my restaurant is Milk and Honey Cafe in Fremont, so you can always stop by and see me there or leave me a message. And my website is teresa4assembly.com. So please vote in the primary if you live in Fremont, Newark, Milpitas, and North San Jose in the Bay area by June 7th. And I welcome any of your feedback as well. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Okay. It was an exciting conversation I had with Teresa today. Wouldn't you agree? So thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe and share this. And by all means, if you have a comment, go and do that right now down here. And we want to hear from you. It's very important. Thank you. This is Paul Joy, your host. Bye now.